Okay, so sorry about that. This is the Plow. So you can see here's the push bar. Comes 2 ears. Comes up. It's underneath. It is a piece of 1/4 inch 2x2 stock with a 1/4 inch flat stock put top and bottom, welded and bolted. Cause I wasn't too sure about the welding when I was first doing it. Comes up to the push bar, which you can see in behind the springs there. There is a 1/2 inch bolt right there, and that's the pivot point for the Plow. Um, that clevis there was my original pickup thing when I had my old mount. And when you're coming back, and you come on the side, this is the pivot point for the Plow. It hooks there in the bottom, and then that piece of metal on the top is just a kicker that hits the rib to keep it from coming back. There are 2 springs that you can see right there that are trip springs. They came from Snow Bear. That was one of the 2 things that I actually bought for the Plow. The turning mechanism is a piece of 2x2 square stock welded on, a 1/2 inch hole drilled through, then on the other side a L bracket, which is just a piece of 1/4 inch angle iron, I think, drilled it through, and then I put a 3/16 top on it. The angle itself is a 1/2 inch flat stock, 2 inches. That was bent and then drilled with pivot holes. You might see that I've got a bolt through one. That's the chain when I'm traveling around on highway. I hooked the chain to part of the mount on the Samurai itself, just to make sure that in case my welds let go. It pivots left and right. The outside holes were a bit too far out, and didn't really do anything. I couldn't get it that far. So that's where my trip springs are. My trip springs are hooked onto just a piece of chain that I cut in half and welded onto the pivot bar. Works really, really well. Have no complaints whatsoever. The only thing I would have done is I cut my ribs out of 4-inch flat stock. I would have done it at a 6 to get myself a bit more of a curve, and I probably would have put in a couple of extra ribs. I don't know if you can see right there on the right, I hit something last year that bent it back a bit. Next year I'll probably redo it and make it a bit stronger with 1/4 inch all around as opposed to 3/16, I think is what I've got with it. The other thing I bought was a couple of Western plow markers. The black thing on the back, that's a back drag that works really, really well. With my current mount on my new mount on the Samurai, it's up a bit high. I have to take it out, drill the holes down an inch lower, but it drags back really, really well, considering what the Plow did before it, because the Plow was really, really light and wouldn't really get down and drag anything. Alright, this is the mount. This is the new mount that I built this year. The other mount used to go right underneath the truck and was really low to the ground and caused me a whole bunch of heartaches. So it is 3/16 2-inch square across, 2 3/16 down ears on each side, and then a set of 3/16 dogs in the center where the ears of the Plow goes into it. I have put a reinforcing angle right there. You can just barely make it out right there. It goes up to the frame. As you're working on your tracker, you probably know that there's not a whole lot of room. Same thing on the Samurai. And so I ended up going way back on the driver's side because the steering box was there and I couldn't get into it. So I went way back behind the steering box and put it down in like a dog leg to make it work. Okay, and that's just, this year I just fabricated up a couple lights and a couple turn signals. And actually the turn signals provide turn signals, and they also give me a wig wag for warning, and that's super winch that I put on this year because my old winch died on me. And just to tease you a little bit, I had a hot water tank. I really had nothing else to do, so I actually took it and made a V-plow. Kind of rough and crude. The push bar that you see straight coming through right there and right there, that was part of the old frame that went underneath my Samurai, and there's the other part that went underneath my Samurai. Went way back to almost the back wheels. So I just welded up the tank, cut out some pieces, put some more pieces in to give the side wings more lift. Used 1/8 inch, 1 inch angle iron to make the ribs, and just cut them up and bent them as needed, and then just used 1x2 flat 1x2 tubing to reinforce at what I think are the pressure points for pushing through snow drifts. Hopefully we'll get some snow and I can give it a shot. There is a ice cutter, or whatever the heck they call them, that hopefully will work out really well. The only thing I might end up doing is I might end up putting a couple of feet in there so I can take the edge just off the ground. I don't plan on using it for a whole lot other than pushing back, cutting through heavy drifts. Last year I was doing a friend's driveway and it was a bit hard with my flat plow. So this one's just made for that one there. And I have a little lawn tractor one right there, just for fun.